Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a new review. Behind us is the new Volkswagen ID.5 GTX. I'm going to take an in-depth tour of the exterior interior details and check the infotainment. It's finally upgraded to the 3.0 version, so it's nice and fast. So without further ado, let's just jump into the review. Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to a new review of the ID5 GTX. Now, this is a gorgeous, beautiful spec in this King's Red metallic color. And we're going to check it out in detail as mentioned. Now, first to show you the key fob. It's a very elegant new Volkswagen key fob, and if the camera focuses, you can see that it's constantly connected to the car. You can see it's flashing red all the time. Now on the top you have the lock button, unlock the cargo space and unlock the car. Once again focused, and of course you can extend by pressing this little button. You can extend a keychain, or there's a physical key inside in case you deplete your full battery. Now if we unlock the car, you can see the matrix headlights. These are the IQ lights, and you can see turn signals at the bottom, and you have the surrounding daytime running lights. Now what's also cool about the GTX is you get these fog lights on the side there. Now let's come a little bit closer, check it out. So you can see the IQ light, that's the signature, suggesting these are matrix. You can see the lens inside, and there are projectors inside. I know there's a lot of reflection, so let's get to the other side. Maybe you can see it a bit better. Nope. But anyways, you can see that if we unlock, turn signal is at the bottom, and then at the top you can see that the lens does the adjustment for the matrix functionality. Now what's also cool, you have the LED bar in the middle. It lightens up once you turn on the car, and you can see the Volkswagen badge on the ID family. It's black on white, or white on black, excuse me, and this is where the radar is behind the badge. Now on the GTX you have this unique fog lights. Now the ID4, which is the same body type, is a little bit different, and on the GTX you get this piano black grille. You can see a lot of air intake at the bottom, so electric cars also need cooling systems for the battery to keep it at an ideal temperature, and also for your climate control. At the bottom you have a little plastic lip, as you can see that if I come closer. So it's a little bit protection if you're going to a light off-roading, and extends all the way on the wheel arches at the bottom all the way to the end of the car. Parking sensors standard integrated there. Now if I back up a little bit, you can see the whole car, very elegant shape, and dual tone. You can see red and on top black. Now I'm gonna come back to the specs later. You can see on the side GTX trim, nice signature. Now just to show you, on the top you have there's a lot of reflection, have the lane assist camera and light and rain sensor. You can also see the massive heads-up display inside. You can also see the speaker, but we're gonna see that from the inside from a different perspective. And now at the top here you have it in gray color, contrasting, and then in black. You also have a one-piece panel roof. It's not openable, but still gives you nice light inside. There's also another window in the A-pillar here. And if I unlock the car, so I can just, if I have a key in my pocket, press here and then it opens up. You can see the long turn signals in the side mirrors, which are nice and long, so you have a good overview. There's a little light here, so I'm going to show you on the other side. It projects a little pattern on the bottom. You have the blind spot in the physical mirror itself, turn signals towards the driver. And I'm going to back up here so you can see the whole car. Has a nice coupe design. Now these are, as you can see, 20-inch alloys. These are diamond cut silver on black. 235/50 R20, and you have disc brakes on the front. On the rear, you have drum brakes, and they're nicely black, so they're kind of covered. On the back, you have 255/45 R20. Now, brakes, or the drum brakes, excuse me, are better. They last longer, so it's better for maintenance, and it's gonna save you some money in the long run. So I know some people will complain, but that's a good stuff. You can see once again that little protection there. Now the door handles, you have a little light underneath. You can pop this plastic here. There's a little hole. There's a physical key cylinder behind that. Both front handles have the unlocking by pressing here or locking, and on the rear, same design. Now there's a little button. It's like a touch button. When you unlock, you just press it inside. You can see the light, but there's actually a button you can press to unlock. B-pillar Volkswagen signature. Now on the top back, you have the shark fin antenna. You have a beautiful roof. You can see air tunneling at the bottom, and you can see the beautiful spoiler on the top where you have the integrated brake light. And then on the back, IQ light. These are gorgeous LED taillights with dynamic turn signals. Now you can see on the rear fender, they kind of extended this to get inside the norm. Now if I unlock the car with the key once again, you can see the dynamic turn signals. Now this is really gorgeous looking. Coming to the end, you can see parking sensors as well. Integrated paint, black, silver. This is gray metallic finish. This is unpainted. And you have the LED fog light on the left there. Now what I do like is you have the connected bar. I wish it was maybe connected at the top. Badge GTX in black. Have the white LED license plates. Backing camera with washer nozzle. And you can see the diffuser. Gorgeous look. Now let's open it up. There's a button, press underneath. You can spec, of course, electronic opening. Now to put this into perspective, let me just come to the side here. So opens nice and tall. So we have 549 liters. If you knock down the seats, 1,562 if I'm not mistaken. It's a little bit bigger than the ID4. Now you have a almost flat entry. There's like a half a centimeter, centimeter maybe of height to the loading area. And checking the sides, you have this side pockets. As you can see that, to the points on all four sides. You can also have here for net. On the top, you have two white LED lights, grocery hooks on both ends. Now inside here is your Type 2 charging cable to get this practical bag. So you can store this to the side. Here, use the space so you can open this up. On the left side, you can put here either a fire extinguisher. In this case, this is a net for pets, but it's in the way, so I've kind of stored it here so I can demonstrate you the opening of this, and you can lower the shelf. So you put it down like that. Then you get extra 4 fingers. So my fingers are around 2 centimeters, so do the math. And then you have another to the point down there. Now you can put this in the back position, or you can just leave it in your garage if you have a garage, which would be ideal if you have an electric car. Underneath, to the loading, there's 5 fingers. And if we open this up, you can see that there is some space. Now here is a subwoofer, I think, or maybe an amplifier. I'm lying now. Usually they put amplifiers here. Now there is a little space inside. Here is for towing, and you get the net, of course, so you can store that nicely inside here, so it's not really in the way. So you can put some additional stuff here, maybe like a first aid or a emergency triangle. And on the left you have a 12-volt outlet. Now the seats knock down 60/40, and you can push this down and push it inside to knock down. You have longer objects like skis. To the points for the child seats. Now this is really big, so I don't think you can put something on the back. Checking the top, you have here room for emergency triangle. You have rubber stoppers so it doesn't ding, and you can close it up manually, or you can spec here you would get a button for electronic opening and closing. Closes nicely. Now to the side here you have the charging port. You press, it opens up, press it in, it locks in. When you lock the car, it's locked. You can adjust in the car settings if you want to release when charging is finished, or you can keep it locked. Now this is blocking the bottom, so this is the type 2 AC charging up to in this case it's 3 kilowatts from the Schuko. Otherwise you can charge up to 11 or 22 in some cases. It's mostly standard 11 kilowatts. I'm gonna leave the tech specs in the video description for all of you who want to see the details. And combined here, if you remove this, you will be CCS for DC fast charging. Now, let's come to the other end. But just to show you a light here for the, now the mirrors didn't unfold in this case, so the light won't turn on. Just a moment. There we go. You can see the light slightly there, so that's the pattern. So just another look from here, and let's get to the other side. Now opening and closing sound, very solid. We're used in Volkswagen. The doors open fairly wide if you need to put a child seat inside. Checking the seals, you have double seals on the top, extending all the way down. And what's good is the doors go all the way down, so if you're washing the car, there won't be water staying at the bottom on the step here. Now, as you can see, Roman 5 factory tint. Now this is hard plastic, plasticky handles, piano black. We all saw that. It looks nice, but it's prone to scratching fingerprints. So I'm not sure why car industry is still using that. Power windows, fully automatic. The rear window goes all the way down. But this is a really beautiful contrast interior. You have blue leather, red contrast stitching, and matches the color with the color excellent. I wouldn't pick the white color. I saw white color option as well. The red one is really looking nice. Decent pockets here, although a bit plasticky, and it's hard plastic at the bottom. Now if we look at the, sorry for the little shake, if we look at the space, you can see the panel roof, one piece. You have the electronic shade. Now let's show you when you knock down the seats. So you can see that is flat. You can see the shelf, it's pretty long. And over there and over there, you can install the net if you have pets. This is a nice seat aligner, so it's not in the way if you're knocking down the seats. Now if you press this, it doesn't automatically push it out. I think there might be an option for that. Of course, you can adjust the heads rest and press here to lower it down. Now you have little tabs here, so your seat buckle doesn't go all the way down. It also makes less sound. Now checking the seats, you have textile, leather, and then blue textile with red contrast stitching, following the theme. You see how the seats go nicely inside and at the bottom. Over here, you push these down, and then you can put a child seat. If you have kids, this is the lowest position for the seat, and you can see that as well. You have little puddle lights. I think there's AC cooling underneath. And over here you have also net points. You can see that. Now we're gonna jump inside. So I'm gonna leave the key on the front. Now for a 2-meter tall person, plenty of feet room. Even in the lowest position, you can store your feet underneath. Now I'm a tall person, I like to be in the lowest position, but have in mind if it's a, most people won't go into that lowest position, so you have more feet room. Plenty of knee room as well. Now over here you can see AC controls. This would be closed, this would be open. Of course you can adjust those. And you have 2 USB-Cs for fast charging and temperature settings at the bottom. Interesting small pockets over here. You can see to the point for the front seat there, and the seats are nice, comfortable. Now you can see really big tall windows. There's one in the C-pillar, so it's a good overview even from the sides. Again, those net points, you have the lights here that are touch. The frame illuminates at night, and you can see the shade here. Top is tinted as well. And over here you can see, you can pull this out. So kind of bluish textile. Cup holders rubberized, and you can open this up and then you can see inside. So let's hear the closing sound. Excellent closing sound in Volkswagen. Excellent soundproof inside. This is a look at the front. We're gonna get to the front in a moment. And for a 2-meter tall person or 6.6, I can definitely not straighten up because it's a coupe design. But for an average person, it should be a fit, I would say. But for a little bit taller person, you're gonna be touching because of the panel roof with your head. Now, the seats don't have the reclining option. And just to show you here, because of the 5th door, this is kind of lowered, so it's a bit tight for the headspace on the rear. And you have here hooks, maybe for your shirts, all 4 sides handles, nice slowly closing B-pillar hooks, and you can adjust the seat belt. I think in the ID3 they kind of removed that option for whatever reason. See, on this one you can just adjust that, so that's cool. And front headrest, you can also adjust those. Now there are no ambient lights on the rear, they're only on the front, you can see that. So unfortunately, Volkswagen is sometimes saving on that. I think they should just add that. You can see the light now. So I gotta be honest, the front closing sound is not good as on the rear for whatever reason. Front doors open way wider, so it's easy to get inside. Seals same as on the rear. Now just to show you one detail I forgot maybe. Over here you can push a key, turn it to the side, and then you would lock from the inside for the kids for safety if you don't want them to open up that. Now on the front, this is soft. You have a flashing light when the car is locked, but it's not an alarm system. And the rest is pretty much the same. It looks gorgeous, especially with this red ambient lights. Of course, you can change those colors. And on the front, on the ID cars, you have this left-right mirror adjustment. You can heat the mirrors, you can fold the mirrors, so that's it. You press here to lock, press here to lock the rear, and here you control power windows, fully automatic. Then you have to press and hold to activate the rear, which is kind of not practical. They should have just added 4 switches. This is supposed to be futuristic, but it's not really practical in real world scenario. You have carpets on the front, which is nice, and hard plastic on the bottom. Now we'll lower the windows. You can see double glazing there, single glazing on the rear. Rear goes all the way down. On the front, you have the GTX aluminum doorstep, which is a nice detail. And over here, you have the tire pressure information. More luggage, you have to have higher tire pressure for safety reasons, of course. Now you can see the carpets. You can see pause and play paddles. I'm gonna pop the front at the end of the video. Seats, I believe you can spec electronic seats. So these are manual. This is for up and down. Tilt. Push that one up to slide back and forward. I don't see a lumbar support. So usually there's like a place where they add that, but in this case, not an option. Now, textile leather, same as on the rear, will be nice GTX detail. You can see the panoramic roof. Steering column is adjustable manually, and over here you can see the light switch. Keep it on automatic. By pressing here, you can change. You can activate front or rear. Fog lights, max, low, front and rear, and you have the front defrost. You can see the ambient lights. Now let's jump inside. Before I do that, just to show you this tunnel is floating, which is a cool detail. Now we got inside nice and comfortable. Let's close the doors. Let's hear the closing sound. If I'm 100% honest, it's better on the rear. For some reason, might be just me. Okay, switching to wide lens. Now you can see the beautiful point of view. Again, there will be a point of view driving once the car is registered, but a beautiful contrast. And we finally have a nice big touchscreen, so you can see that it looks nice. Now the ID3 has a smaller screen. This is a bit longer and wider. And they finally released a new software update, and this is nice and fast. It's not laggy. Zooming back in. So, checking the steering wheel, have smooth leather, has some texture, but more on the smooth end. Flat bottom. GTX signature, red details there. Touch capacitive buttons. I wish there were physical buttons. This is for cruise control. Distance, modes, views for the infotainment there, music volume and screen options, plus voice commands. Standard wiper controls, light and turn signals, and on the front you have a smaller screen. We're gonna check that in a moment. And this is for the drive, brake, or recuperation mode, neutral, reverse, and there is a park button there. But you probably saw that. Now you have the TFT screen. I'm gonna come back to that in a moment. Closed, open air vents. You can see that. And beautiful, this is soft touch, beautiful blue leather with red contrast stitching. Have here air vent to the side, speaker in the A-pillar, big heads-up display speaker there. And it looks quite nice. I love the dash. I honestly do like the piano black details in this because it looks gorgeous, but just piano black is not a good experience on the long run. Big infotainment, you can turn it on or off here. In this case, you would have here clock faces. There are 4 of them. So there you go. And I can turn on the infotainment. I'm just skipping this so it doesn't cancel it for the first user. Volume slider, you can see flashing infrared sensors. Climate control sliders, I know people are not a huge fan of those, but you can use voice commands, they work. Park, climate, hazards, you can see the hazards in the side mirrors. Assists and driving modes. Air vents at the bottom, because the screen is on the top closer, so your eyes are closer to the road. And slowly opening the left compartment. Fairly spacious. Just, they could have maybe added some carpets. You had this Volkswagen little book there. Now this is hard plastic, soft on the top. Now over here at the bottom, we have this big middle bridge. Now these are adjustable cup holders. You can see those. There's a rubber here. You can put your key here if your battery is depleted, so it just kind of connects with the car. You can press inside here and extend this, so this is removable. And then there's a rubber mat here if you need to clean it. There's like 2 steps. Now, moving down here, there's a roller. There's ambient lights here once you turn on the car. There's a wireless charger for your phone, IQ, or the QI. There's a rubber mat you can remove to clean it up. You have 2 USB-Cs. Now, I'll just show you, there are separated armrests. You can, of course, press here and just remove those. I'm just going to do that so you can see better. You put your phone here to charge it, 2 USB-Cs, and also same as on the top. Now, these are adjustable and you can put them like that. You know, you can combine what you want, but you can put these here as well. And now this one was like this, but you can turn it around and put it back there. There's a little space here then, which you can use because this is not fully inside, but still you can have this over here, and then you can have this up here. Now, just to adjust this. So, voila. I don't think any car reviewer actually noticed that you can combine those. So, there is that. So, once again, you can just, it's kind of hard to get these in the spot, but there you go. So it just has to be turned around, and then voila. So of course you can remove that rubber mat. So that's the practical part. Of course you can have this in the upright position, then you press to adjust it where you want. And this one, it kind of doesn't work the same way. Seats are quite comfortable. You have front to the points there, and nice overview. Now to show you front headspace, loads of headspace, and it's a good overview around you. Now just to check on the top, good overview in the rear, although you can see the spoiler and you can see far behind you. Now on the top you can turn on the lights by pressing here like that. You have the passenger airbag information on the top, information or maybe road assistance service, or that would be maybe road assistance, and then you have the emergency, which you have to press, and then there's an actual button there. You have the slider for the shade. On the top, this is black and the GTX. Documents holder, when you open this, a light should turn on when I turn on the infotainment, and you have the price mirror. Now this does not extend, unfortunately, so this whole area is just not being covered. I think Volkswagen should add that in the future. And now there's a press, there's a start stop. It says start stop engine, although there is no engine. There's 2 electric motors, so it's all-wheel drive. Once you press here, things turn on. Now you can see the ambient lights at the bottom there. And you can see ambient lights there. Front doors there. Let's focus on this small screen for a moment. You can press here. Main switch is deactivated. So I guess you have to press on the top here, and then you can control here the distance. You can control the speedometer, as you can see that. Or you can just switch it off. When you suppress it, you can press here and then control the distance you want. We have here the have the switch again on, have the speed limiter or the cruise control. Now once you're charging, you cannot put it to drive. It's going to tell you a message. You can see also the smart light on the top, and I would show you the reverse camera, but in this case I can't. Now you have the voice commands. They work in English. You can control here views, so you can have this, this, or this. Now if you have navigation, you can switch to the right side. So that's it. You have the percentage of the battery and range and some other information, but that's for the most part it. Now let's get to the main screen. First to show you here park. You have to disconnect the cable, otherwise it would turn on the camera. You have the climate shortcut here. For whatever reason, it's not working. And you have the assistance. Okay, let me just try once again. I was supposed to bring in the climate, but once you turn on car on and off a few times, it kind of messes up the computer, which I did. I was turning it on off for B-roll shots. Assistance, you can see monitor driving assistant. You see cruise distance, pulling to the side in emergency, lane assistant, and lane keeping assist, plus the speed recognition. You have the driving modes, individual, which you can customize here. You can have comfort, sport for steering, driving, AC, light assistance, air conditioning. And then here for the traction, you can see that. Pause and read. And then you have the sport, comfort, and eco settings. Once again, climate should be working, but it's a benefit of electric cars. Not electric cars, excuse me, but a benefit of touchscreen controls. Now, I'm sure if you, I think I know what's the case. I've turned off the climate control. Now, if you come closer, the screen registers. You don't have to press it because there are sensors here. Okay, this would be your apps menu. And over here, you should have AC controls. This is the home menu, so you can see navigation, radio option, and some of the shortcuts. Now, let me see where the climate is. I think this is for the heating. You can turn on the climate here. Now, I turned off the climate. Now it's on. Maybe open this one up. And, okay, so to cover the climate controls, I'm pretty sure now it should be working. Let me just check that up for you. Once again, yeah, now it's working because I turned it off. It's kind of, I guess, ignores the switch. Now, classic climate, you have the automatic speed. You can have it low, medium, or high. Rear, sync temperatures, heated seats, and heated steering wheel. You have the, if we go back to the classic, you can control the air vent, fan speed. You can start the climate, you can see all of that. And air care would filtrate the dust from the cabin. You can see it's in process. Gives you a little info there. And we have the automatic air recirculation on, heated seats, and so on. Now I see there are some customers probably eagerly waiting to jump in the car, so I'll make a pause here. We're at the climate controls, so I've kind of showed you all the functionalities. You can turn off the climate there, and if you turn it back on, you have the settings as well here. Now, let's go to the maps. If you press on the maps, it brings it to the full screen. This is way better, I would say, than before. It's faster. Now here you can have route guidance, navigation announcements, and so on, map settings. So you can see that. It's fairly fast. And you can see the range with the current charge, which is just 13%. It kind of expands once you charge the car. Now, over here you have charging shortcuts. Now, this was faster, but once you turn off the car or leave it setting, it just kind of acts up and starts lagging up a bit. You can control here the charging limit. It's recommended to charge it to 80%. I have here locations, settings, battery care mode. This is if you're leaving your car up for a longer period and you don't want to overcharge it. You can reduce the charging current if you're using a Shuko with the thin cables, so it kind of, you know, heats up the cable. You have to have the industrial cable that's a longer, thicker cable. Phone calls, radio options. Now over here you can go to shortcut to the settings. I'm gonna mute this. You can have here the volume options, focus where you want the sound. You can control that or reset it on the top, and here are the settings. You can have hand gesture tones, touchscreen tones, That's how they sound. Tone for the other controls, goodbye sound. There's like dun, 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 Volkswagen sound when you exit. I'm gonna turn this off. And phone calls, I've actually connected to the Apple CarPlay, so you can see how that works. It might interrupt because I'm filming. So let me just go back here. It's actually working fast. Usually when I'm filming, it starts lagging, and in this case, it's working okay. You can see a nice big screen. I'm not gonna turn on Waze or Google Maps, but one of the cooler apps is PlugShare, so you can find charging stations and a better route planner. Now, over here you can see your shortcuts for power consumption. You can have multiple profiles, media, of course, Bluetooth or USB-C. Now, if we go to the apps here, you can see those apps individually. You can see the vehicle settings here, status of the vehicle, service type, pressure. This is the odometer or distance covered. You can press the zeros to reset the trip. And here you can see long-term and since start. You can reset those there. Now, I've showed you most of the stuff for the users. You can create profiles, and then in the settings, have privacy, how many data you're sharing with Volkswagen, sound options, and another shortcut. I show the vehicle information, background lights. You can have dual tones. I'm not sure why it's not available at the moment. Maybe you need to start driving, and then you can increase the brightness. And for all of those, you can have dual colors, simple color, and then you can choose whatever color you want. And for the end shop, doesn't work at the moment in Croatia. The car needs to be activated to someone's account. Screen options, touchscreen tones, medium, show clock in standby mode, and stuff like that. Time and date, languages, there's plenty of languages here. Voice you can have for the navigation, male or female. Units, Wi-Fi, you have Wi-Fi inside the car. System information, this is the new software version. It's supposed to be faster. You can check for the updates, they're over the air if you have Wi-Fi. This is working faster. When you drive the car, it kind of doesn't act up. Again, I was turning on and off stuff, so it kind of messes up the cars in general. You can control the temperature here, automatic window heating. You can set the temperatures to defrost your car. You can set it all that for the app as well. I hope they finished the app because the app really wasn't working. And you can start the aircon when the vehicle is unlocked. Charging, I think there was an option to just, you can see that is quite long text. There's an option somewhere to unlock the cable when it's charged. As mentioned, and I'll show you the settings, legal shop, driving assistance. I showed you that as well. Now, that's pretty much it. Over here, when you press, it brings you to the AC controls. You can turn it off, so you can play with those. And pull down menu. Here we have the brightness for the screen, and we have the mute, home, navigation announcement. You can, when you set a home position, just open navigation. It drives you to home. Auto hold should be engaged. Digital manual installation stopped. Unable to connect to internet. You should use your Wi-Fi, of course. And you have the bright theme. So in this case, you can see that is white. If you go to any of the car settings, it's white. I think since this is a dark theme inside, it's just better to have it on a dark theme. But you can set those to your personal tastes. And vehicle using data, you can see here, agree, send location data, agree if you want to share it, data with Volkswagen to improve stuff, V2X technology, okay, not available at the moment. So there's maybe a few details I might have skipped. I don't think I did, but maybe like smaller details. Didn't go into every single menu because this video would be even longer. Once again, just to show you the, you can see the charging stations, and then how much you would use power, and to get there you can navigate that. If you start the navigation, just
please drive to the route
for example, here you can then, if I turn on the car, then you can see navigation is on the side there. You can switch to it, and then you can see that. You can also see the heads-up display if I zoom into that, so it gives you all the relevant information. I'm not sure if you can change stuff with the screen here, but that's it. Now let me just come back here for a moment and I'm gonna wrap it up the video. Vehicle, yeah, there's no heads-up display options. Actually, wait, interior, you can see head-up display. Okay, here, active, augmented reality, position, you can control that. Brightness, you can control the brightness of it. Standard color or snow, so it's white, you can just do snow and be blue. And content, driver assistance, all of that is on. Cockpit, reset since start, long term, and so on. Interior lights, just another shortcut. ID light, brightness, I'll be the one on the top, you can see that. This is for voice commands, for phone calls, navigation, and so on. For the augmented reality, shows you where to turn if you're in a roundabout or similar. Navigation, infotainment, see that. Driving and maneuvering. And roof option, you can, I guess, decide how far you want to open or close. Of course, you can use that one as well. So it's a nice animation. And exterior comfort lights, coming, leaving home. Tail lights, animation 2. You can have animation 1. So this is like the gimmick. Turn signals classic or dynamic. It's a cool option. And over here you can see tire service, and this is going back to the same thing. Mirrors, folding when locked, synchronized adjustment. Tires, tire pressure, you can set that. You can set a speed warning, and so on. So you can like say, maybe this is good for like telling you're like, oh, you're speeding, so maybe like, I don't know, if you're driving 140, it kind of reminds you. And here are the headlights, dynamic assist, dynamic headlight cornering, and so on. So I think I've showed you now everything. I didn't miss a single detail. So those are your options there. Another detail, if you hold the app, you can rearrange the icons how you want them there. If I go back here, just let me cancel this one, and that's it. So not too shabby at all. And you have here goodbye message. There's a little pen here, so update available, battery alert, you can change those. Let's see, update available, if it's so I did turn on the internet connection, maybe I enabled it. You can see here. Let me just once again go to the vehicle settings just to see. Where's the settings here? Software updates. No, not that. I think it was here. No, just a moment. Forgot from the top of my head. System information. Actually, not here. Show all updates. Oh, it says no updates. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Okay. This is on, and this is off. Just switch that off. Okay. Now to show you pop that one up. Let me show you the front, just for the end. Above the badge, push it to the left. You can see the AC working now. There's no frunk. There's your washer fluid. The rest, leave it to the mechanics. You have to use the leg to have that open. Let it drop, closes perfectly. Now to show you the lights, I'm gonna turn on and leave the key inside. So key inside, press the start button, You should keep your lights on automatic. In this case, I'm going to turn them on, and I'm going to turn on the front. So I turned on the front and rear fog lights just for a demo, and to turn on the hazards as well. Now you can see the rear beautiful LED lights, dynamic turn signals, and rear fog light. And coming to the front, you can see the front LED bar is connected, and you can see the fog lights, quite unique on the road. Keep these on automatic. So now to lock up the car, if you lock the car, it should be a gimmick. When locking and unlocking, takes around 10 seconds. That was the, you can see that? That was the number one. Visualization kind of charges in. Now we're gonna see if we can show you the second one, if I can remember where that was. Once again, you can see here the charging status. Remind me later, okay. You can of course turn that off. Vehicle, set the exterior comfort lights, animation 2. Let me just show you these. They're going to be a little classical. So I think the dynamic is way cooler. Since I moved my seat up, the car turns off the infotainment. So once again, as soon as I connect to the Apple CarPlay, it stops filming. I need to turn it back on. Comfort lights, dynamic. Let's see the animation 2. And I'm going to switch this off. Again, interrupted my filming, but we're going to lock it up. You can see that. And then when we unlock it once more, animation number 2. So not much difference, but you can see how that looks. So that was the beautiful ID5 GTX. Hope you liked the full review. And before they turn off, I love to see through the sides, through the transparent part, how it looks. Now cutting this also should be informative. Now when your car is unlocked, you can see on the screen percentage, and you can see the charging on the light bar on the top. Also to show you the charger there. And not to forget the tech spec. So this is the minimum horsepower is 105 horsepower. It is actually 299 horsepower in the sports setting. Of course, 1-speed automatic, King's Red metallic color we mentioned, and full price should be this. I'm gonna type it in euros. For full technical details, battery range, battery size, check the links in the video description. So everyone, thank you for watching. Be a cool person, smash the like button. Leave your comments below. How do you like the ID5 GTX? It's going to be separated point of view driving once the car gets registered. So if you want to see that, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notified. Click on all, otherwise you won't get the notifications. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.